In 1974, in the Chinese province of Shaanxi, a peasant was digging a well in search of water to survive a severe drought. He didn't find any water, but the fixed gaze of a warrior who hadn't seen sunlight for over 2,000 years. What began as an ordinary day's work revealed the largest necropolis ever built by mankind. An army of more than 8,000 terracotta soldiers, positioned as if they were still ready for battle. Homed with real weapons, horses and chariots. And the most disturbing thing, this is only part of what remains buried. Who ordered this impossible feat? What was its purpose? How did they manage to do it? What mysteries are still hidden beneath the earth? In this video, Rising Cycle uses artificial intelligence to break the silence of 2 millennia. We'll reconstruct the colors, faces and glory of the Terracotta army, turning archaeology into life before your eyes. The man behind this army was Ying Zheng. He was born in 259 BC and became king of Qin province at the age of 13. At this time, China was divided into 7 great rival kingdoms. It was the period known as the Warring States. There was no emperor, each king ruled independently. The king of Qin was a great politician and military strategist, and used all his military strength to annex the other 6 states. Then, at the age of 38, after unifying the country, he became Emperor Qin Shi Huang. During his rule, he developed an extensive network of roads and canals, aimed at increasing trade, standardized Chinese writing, unified the system of weights and measures, created a national currency, and among many other achievements, he also began the construction of the Great Wall of China to protect its northern borders, unifying parts of several existing walls. During this period, the more power he accumulated, the more obsessed he became with one question: what if I die? Qin Shi Huang had a pathological dread of death. He began to seek immortality. He sent out expeditions to find the elixir of eternal life. He consulted alchemists. He took mercury pills that he believed would prolong life. And while he sought immortality in life and conquered the other kingdoms, he began to build something for death. The construction of an underground empire that would mirror his earthly domain. Something that would guarantee his protection and power in the afterlife. For the ancient Chinese, the afterlife was the exact continuation of earthly life. Emperors believed that they would maintain their power, status and needs in the afterlife. For centuries, this led to the sacrifice of royal persons, who were buried with their lords. At the time of Qin Shi Huang, this tradition began to change. Symbolic figures replaced human sacrifices. The emperor took this idea to the extreme by creating not a symbol, but the complete replica of his empire. Construction of Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum began in 246 BC, as soon as he took the throne at the age of 13. The project was monumental and lasted almost 40 years, mobilizing more than 700,000 workers. Many of them died due to the harsh conditions. A nearby burial pit containing a thick layer of bones shows that this was the fate of many builders. In addition, according to historical records, in order to keep the tomb secret, childless concubines were buried alive along with the emperor, and builders and craftsmen were locked up while they were still finishing their work inside the tomb. The mausoleum was designed like a city, with 2 walls, one inside and one outside. The circumference of the base of the outer wall exceeded 6,000 meters. Tomb Mound, which was originally an artificial mountain over 120 meters high, has been reduced by erosion and human damage to around 65 meters today. The Terracotta army wasn't built in one go. It was an industrial operation on a monumental scale. Each soldier was built in parts. Legs, torso, arms and head were molded separately in different workshops, then assembled like a jigsaw puzzle. The hands were individually shaped to hold real weapons. And an impressive detail: no 2 faces are the same. Each figure has unique facial expressions, postures and hairstyles, demonstrating a high level of artistry. Some historians believe that they may have been modeled after real soldiers from the Qin army. The bronze weapons found, such as swords and arrowheads, have remained sharp and rust-free after 2,000 years, due to a surface treatment with chrome. Imagine the scene: thousands of soldiers, positioned in royal battle formation, kneeling archers in the vanguard, followed by heavy infantry and high-ranking officers, all equipped with real bronze weapons, sharp enough to draw blood even after 2 millennia. Although the Terracotta army is world famous, it is only the peripheral guard of a much bigger secret. The central tomb of Qin Shi Huang remains sealed to this day. Archaeologists hesitate to open it, not just because of the risk of damaging what's inside, but because of the dark historical accounts surrounding the emperor's tomb. But here's the magic. Rising Cycle, using advanced AI resources, has recreated what this forbidden hall would look like. Ancient texts describe an underground palace, where the ceiling is encrusted with pearls to simulate the stars, and the floor is traversed by rivers of liquid mercury, mechanically moved to simulate the great rivers of China and the ocean. A lethal and brilliant time capsule, protected by automatic crossbow traps ready to fire at any invader. The emperor didn't just want a tomb. He wanted a private universe where he could continue to rule, surrounded by an ocean of liquid metal that flows eternally in darkness. For the great mass of the population, especially in the rural areas where the tomb was found, the reason they don't want to open it is that, according to Chinese religious tradition, the spirit of Qin Shi Huang will be released. In any case, the tomb remains closed, untouched. One of the world's greatest archaeological treasures is waiting in the ground. Modern soil tests have confirmed mercury levels 100 times higher than normal in the area. Mercury is highly toxic, and if this chamber is opened and the vapor escapes, it could be lethal, which suggests and reinforces that the legend may be frighteningly real. Qin Shi Huang died in 210 BC, at the age of 49, during an inspection trip through eastern China. Ironically, he was looking for the secret of immortality, more precisely the legendary Islands of the Immortals. Some historians believe that the mercury-containing potions he took to prolong his life were actually what killed him. Mercury is a slow poison. It causes delirium, organ failure, and eventually death. He was buried in his mausoleum with all the imperial splendor. But his dynasty didn't last 10,000 generations, as he had dreamed. The Qin Empire collapsed in a civil war, and 4 years after his death, his son, the second emperor, was also dead, and the Qin dynasty, which was supposed to be eternal, came to an end. However, despite his failure to find physical immortality, Qin Shi Huang, by building this terracotta army, by creating this impossible monument, achieved something close to cultural immortality. More than 2,200 years later, his name is still known, his army still impressive, and his obsession with death left behind an open window into the past that will never cease to fascinate us. And the mystery continues. How many other treasures are still buried around the mausoleum? How many other secret chambers have yet to be discovered? What is really inside the main tomb? If you're fascinated by this visual dive into ancient China, subscribe to Rising Cycle and turn on notifications. What other wonders of the ancient world would you like to see brought back to life by our AI? Leave your suggestions in the comments below. And if you want to explore more mysteries from the past, check out our other on-screen videos. Thanks for watching.